In broad daylight, a mysterious crime is about to take place. Overlooked by many, it happens on backyards, streets, rivers, and the countrysides.
Two weeks ago, I was walking along Commercial Road and somebody threw a double mattress outside the window in New Street and it landed on the person's head. Now that's not right, is it?
Our website is easy. You go on the website, just report it, and we'll do the rest.
They always say it wasn't them, or there's a real good excuse. There's never a good excuse. There's no excuse.
Because they've always, in the past, a lot of people have thought that it's somebody else's problem, not their own.
Yeah, I caught somebody fly tipping going back last year, followed him home, so I know where he lived, took a photo of it, or evidence was in a cupboard. It was from Corporate Road. So we dumped it from Corporate Road down here, and they couldn't do nothing about it. Only way I would do something about it if you was willing to go to court, and I don't want to go to court.
One rare insight, with the perpetrators of such acts walking scot-free. This leaves the locals to wake up to such horrendous sins. This is a crime that could land you years in prison with a fine of up to £50,000. In Wales alone, over 30,000 incidents of fly tipping were recorded last year, with the cleanup cost of up to £2 million, but only 64 fines accounted for. A debate continues whether these incidents are increasing or decreasing.
Last year the figures came down by a few thousand, so they're coming down year on year. They are coming down by a few thousand, so we do feel as if they're making a difference. So I think overall the trend is a downward trend, so we're quite happy with that.
It is decreasing. Why it's decreasing, I don't know. We possibly might see an increase this year because of levying of additional charges, because of decreasing in the amount of money that's being allocated to us.
High rates on landfill tax have always been attributed as a leading cause of fly tipping. But are there other causes?
Most people do it for financial gain, Alex. Purely and simply, landfill tax charges are quite high. Being able to dispose of waste correctly does cost money. Therefore, they shortcut the system and deposit it illegally on land that's not licensed to receive it. So that's why it's purely a financial incentive.
The rogue businesses who are just trying to save money and dump, you could be asbestos builders are quite prone to doing it. But
environmentalists now warn of severe consequences unless action is taken to stop fly tippers.
It affects everyone. It affects people who enjoy the countryside, so when they go walking, they don't want to see the scars of fly tipping on the side of the paths, and so you may have got a mattress on the side of a lovely local lovely countryside. Also, you've got the wildlife. Just by putting black bags there, you may have wildlife that will go into the bags. We've got beautiful areas where we've got lakes and everything like that. So ducks, everything. Children, they may be playing, pick up hazardous waste and things like that. So the fly tipping affects everybody in the community.
In the last 2 years, 5 people got prosecuted for fly tipping. There should be a lot more on that because people know they can get away with it. And that's why you do it.
Bittered by their actions, Paul Murphy, a resident of Newport County, says tough measures need to be put in place to avoid the menace. The Welsh Government maintains it is committed to tackling fly tipping, but for the taxpayer, that means an annual £2 million clean-up bill. The government is trialling a new strategy to deal with fly tipping. Natural Resources Wales, a Welsh Government-sponsored body, together with Fly Tipping Action Wales, an initiative funded by the Welsh Government, are developing a new way of mapping fly tipping hotspots. Council authorities are required to collate dumping locations in a mobile app called Fly Mapper. Fly Mapper then combines field recordings of incidents via the mobile application and the management of data through a central database, which is shared by multiple organizations.
The current system, which is fly capture, wasn't a good system because it was just a spreadsheet. What we wanted to do was to have a map which showed all the fly tipping incidents. You'd be able to take a photograph, download it on a map, see the waste, categorize the map, so you'd be able to see the trends, the type of waste that was being illegally disposed of. We just saw it as a big improvement on the current fly capture system.
Out of 22 local authorities in Wales, only 7 are taking part in this project. But will this strategy be efficient?
I think it's a starting point because it's a tool for intelligence gathering. Because when you see these incidents on a map, you'll be able to do further investigations. There might be evidence. I think we have crime analysts that can work on these maps and produce data where we can look more closely at the perpetrators. So it's not just a counting exercise. I think it's there for. I think we can use it for other things as well.
Other enforcement officers disagree with the system.
We don't use fly mapper now. We know where the issues are in relation to illicit tipping. We know where our hotspots are. Fly mapper would just re-emphasise to me what I already know.
Newport County Council withdrew from the Fly Mapper project. Efforts to reach the authorities for comments proved futile. I toured Newport City trying to get a glimpse of the situation of fly tipping within the town. Here, even signposts do not deter people from fly tipping. Paul says fly tipping is increasing in Newport City.
It's increasing a lot because like people are chucking mattresses out now, duvets, three-piece suite settees, cookers, fridge freezers. It is happening a lot now, so it's increasing.
Paul formed a neighborhood task force that litter picks and clears fly-tipped waste around Newport nearly every month. He received £4,000 worth of funding from ASDA lottery funds and Newport City Homes.
My next lot of funding will pay for a wet gear clothing, and I'm hoping to get CCTV cameras in the next couple of months.
He is trying to persuade more people to join his group of volunteers. And together with residents, Natural Resources Wales and the fire service on board, the group leaves the city clean and neat. And without any member of the Newport Council present, I ask Paul whether the council offers any support.
Council is doing a lot, but what it is that people, they won't pay to get stuff taken away, so they're just fly tipping it. But be fair, councils are down here all the time cleaning up, moving bags of rubbish.
Experts say that fly tipping cannot be stopped, but there are ways that it can be reduced.
I don't think you'll ever get rid of fly tipping. I think anyone who thinks that is the case is a liar. I think you can reduce it, and I think if everyone works together and gets the message, and I think the message has to be a strong enforcement, and if the public see it as a strong enforcement, they're less likely to do it.
Elsewhere in Abbeville County, new state-of-the-art covered cameras are up and running to combat fly tippers. Andrew Long, the enforcement officer, says the use of CCTVs is the most efficient way to deter fly tippers.
This is one of the tools that are available to ensure that you can, catch offenders. There's no better evidence than a film of the actual offence itself, to present to the court. So yeah, it's one of many tools that are available, and it's been successful for us. And if other authorities choose to go down that route, I'm sure they will experience the same sort of success.
I think one of the local authorities borrowed one of our cameras and they did get a successful prosecution. They caught somebody fly tipping, so yes, it is good, yes.
But there are challenges that come along with the use of CCTVs.
On common land, which is 10 square miles worth of material, you've got to be, it's more luck than judgment. So from our point of view, we've used cameras on common land The legislation in and around being able to put cameras up is also difficult. The RIPA authorisations are difficult.
A report on fly tipping conducted by the Jill Dando Institute of Crime Science says that attention should focus on emerging areas at risk rather than specific locations. Strategically placed CCTV cameras or automated number plate readers might be worth considering. Across the borders, in England, they are doing things better. According to Durham County Council, 17 suspected cases of fly tipping are being investigated. This has been attributed to the success of 24 extra CCTV cameras installed throughout the county. Although the Welsh Government set aside £190,000 this year to support the Fly Tipping Action Wales programme, need for funds and resources seem to be universal in all counties in Wales. This, they say, would help purchase advanced equipment and fund strategies that deal with fly tipping. Authorities say the government is not providing enough funds.
Goes back to resources and the time and the effort and the cost that goes into it. So, you know, every local authority is strapped for cash at the moment. You know, there are limits on resources.
Illicit tipping isn't a statutory requirement for local authorities in Wales. I would strongly suggest that it should be, and that financing should reflect that.
And with the Welsh Government pushing for efforts to deal with fly tipping, more attentions to the needs of the council authorities should be put into consideration. The Welsh Government was unavailable for comment. Experts say educating the public on the environmental impact of fly tipping would help reduce the number of incidents.
So I think there's no one solution to stopping fly tipping. It's a combination of working together, raising awareness, educating people, making sure the correct provisions are in place, and getting people to care about their area and care about clearing rubbish.
We have a fabulous scheme in the local school where cycles that are taken to the CRC sites are taken to the local school. The young people who really didn't like school in the beginning now love school because they enjoy doing the cycles up, which they can sell then for charity.
Campaigners now want local authorities to crack down on the problem.
We have targets which are quite stringent set by Welsh Government, and we need everyone on board to actually recycle to achieve the targets. The people who are not recycling, again, are lazy. We make it simple, easy for people to do it. There's no reason why you can't do it.
Now, since we've worked with the police, in fact we did a joint operation with them 3 weeks ago, the amount of fly tipping on the land that he patrols has reduced quite significantly.
There is need to think through the planning and requirements that will help minimize fly tipping risks. People are now being advised to use the proper channels set in place to dispose of waste.